Hi guys, back again. So just a quick video today. It's about when and why to quarantine. So we've all heard people speak about it, maybe just a little bit unsure as to why you would, when you would, anything like that. So I am going to keep looking over there. I've got the dwarf gourami settling in with the guppies while I'm doing this. Sorry. So there's a few reasons why you would. One, for breeding purposes. So that one's kind of self-explanatory. You want them to breed, or they've already mated and they're live bearers, so you put them separate so they can have the babies safely without anyone eating them. And then there's the other two. So new fish. Briefly went over this in the dwarf gourami coming out of quarantine video. So the reason you do it when you're getting new fish is so even if they look healthy, they're not always healthy. So they might have a disease that's just not showing its effects yet. So you put them in a little tank. Smaller tanks are cheaper to treat, which is always a bonus. They're easier to treat and they're easier to keep an eye on the fish themselves. So you put them in there anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 months. Depends on what you think is wrong with them. If you don't really think there's anything wrong with them, then a couple of weeks is normally about enough, really. And then you just treat for almost anything. So I give them an antibacterial, I give them an anti-worm, and parasite treatment and an ick treatment, just as a precaution. If I think there is something wrong with them or they're showing signs of a certain disease there, then I will obviously treat that disease, not everything, although I probably would treat for more than just the one while they're in quarantine. And then as long as they show no symptoms in the time that you've got them quarantined, then they're safe to go in the big tank. I've done it before, as I said before. It was the juvenile pearl scale that's over in that tank there. I didn't quarantine him, I put him in and ended up with ick. Which leads me directly into the second reason to quarantine. If you've got a sick fish. So my community tanks, if anyone was to get sick, get a disease, then I'd have to decide whether I wanted to quarantine. So the reason I'm saying I'd have to decide, sometimes, as I said in the just now, some diseases don't always show their symptoms straight away. So by the time you notice it on your fish, it's actually spread further than you can see. So you'll take out the one sick fish, put him in the little quarantine hospital tank, which is like 20-30 litre tank, and be treating him, not treating the main tank, and then realise that all the fish have got it. So it depends what is wrong with them to whether I actually quarantine them when they're ill. If it's something that spreads really easily, I just treat the main tank, which is annoying on this big one here. It's 350 litres, cost a lot. Little 75, nah, not so bad. But if it's a disease that doesn't spread easily, then yes, I'm instantly going to put them in quarantine and treat a smaller tank. A lot of people do just take any sick fish out and put them straight into quarantine, which is fine, and that makes sense, and you're going to save some money if the disease hasn't spread. But what if you're treating that one tank and then not focusing on your normal tank, and then all them fish end up sick and you've missed it? You've missed the time scale to start treating them, and then that's it. So you do need to weigh up the pros and cons when you're doing a hospital tank. When they first come in, it's always quarantine, no question. It's not worth the risk. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted, I'm just making sure they're all getting along. They're fine. Guppies are sickening to themselves. Dwarf gourami's like, please do that, it'll be 20 litres. Almost time for the lights to go on and have the update. So they're the main reasons why you would quarantine. I can't really think of anything else. The breeding one, going back to that, yeah, if they're spawners, so if they lay eggs, then you choose the ones you want, put them in the tank, have it set up so they can spawn comfortably, and then once they have, take them, the two adults, back out and put them in the main tank so they don't eat the eggs and they don't get in the way of you looking after the eggs. My Danios quite often try to breed in this tank. I don't want them to breed. And the goldfish goes around and cleans them up for me. If I wanted to breed them, then I'd put them in the other tank. And again, live bearers can happen anytime. I've only got male guppies in mine, so I haven't got to worry about that. But if I was to have females and they did mate, I would then take the females out just before they're about to drop, so they've got somewhere away from the adults that are going to eat the fry to raise them. And then obviously once the fry are big enough, they go back into the tank. But I'm not breeding. So when you're treating either your quarantine tank or your hospital tank, you'll get a bottle and it'll have your instructions on there. What a few people do is underdose. Don't do it. These companies have spent ages researching the treatment, researching the disease and the most effective, efficient way to treat it. They've taken into consideration in most cases internal filters and substrate. So when it says like 5 ml per 40 litres, it's 5 ml per 40 litres, they've thought about you having your substrate in there. It's not, don't then take away and do some awkward maths. Just treat as the bottle says. There are some that are slightly more difficult to use, some of the wormers I'd say, but still stick to what you're told. Don't half treat, don't ever underdose, because you're not going to get rid of what is wrong. Sounds so simple really, doesn't it? So the 2 quarantine tanks I do have 2. The blue one that the Dwarf Goram was in, which you saw, that one's about 20 litre I believe. I think it's actually meant to be a hamster cage. But a plastic one. Holds water, it works, it's got a lid. Cost me like £15. Bargain. And then the other one I've got is, I think it's 12 litres, which is really, really small. But it's fine for like guppies and danios and little fish. I wouldn't put big fish in there. I do unfortunately only currently have 1 filter. I've got 1 on order, so I can actually run 2 quarantines or 2 hospitals or whatever I need at once. At the minute I'm stuck with the 1. A bit annoying because I want to add some fish. I can't. It's in use. Yay, 2. So I suppose that's all for this video. I said it was a quick one. If you have any questions, comments, drop them below and I'll answer as soon as I can. If you like the video or any of my others, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, you know the deal. Yeah? Bye.